I keep seeing this trend on social media where everyone is taking down their tree stands and putting them away until next fall or this coming summer, and then they go out and they hang their tree stands and sticks when it's the hottest months of the year, when the foliage is as thick as it's going to be. And that's just crazy to me. In my opinion, right now, here middle of February is the perfect time to be going hanging your tree stands. And I like to loosen those straps up a little bit and go through and check all my existing tree stands, make sure the cables and the straps are all good. But I leave them a little loose so that way when I hunt them the first time that next fall, I just tighten them up as I go up. So, you know, it's crazy to me because most of the foliage is gone throughout the majority of fall. So right now is the perfect time to see exactly what it looks like, to look for old sign from the previous season. The season's still fresh. It's only been out for basically a month now. So all the sign that was left behind last fall is still very, very evident. And it's a lot more enjoyable hanging on this time of year versus the summer when it's hot. And let's face it, you get bugs and you get hot and you just say heck with it, and you don't do as good of a job, in my opinion, as what you would do when it's here nice 45, 50 degrees. And today we are scouting a new piece of property that we picked up this past fall. It adjoins the property that we've hunted and had for quite a few years. And I found the best spot, I think. I think it's going to be one of the best spots on the entire farm, honestly. It's a creek crossing. And looking at the Onyx map, there's the field drainage here to the west that dumps right into our existing CRP here. And then it leads to this little creek here, and it's a pinch down area. I mean, massive pinch. And this creek is gigantic. It's probably 12 foot tall, 15 foot tall high walls on each side. And there's only a couple places that it actually tapers off. And the deer have absolutely created a cow path through here. So we're going to go check that out. And I'm certainly going to be hanging a couple Novix tree stands over this creek crossing. You guys, right now is the time to set the stage to kill that big buck for next fall. Look how dug out that is from the deer. All right, so we're at the first tree here now, and as you can see here, it is right on the edge of this creek bank here. And essentially what this tree is going to offer is hunting on a northwest wind. All the trails that are crisscrossing coming across this creek are all within about 30 to 40 yards at the furthest when they cross this creek here. And they've just got massive paths coming down this. It's absolutely crazy. So this stand is going to be for the northwest winds, and we're going to go right over here. There's another tree that's perfect that I'll be able to hunt on a southwest wind. And it won't be just southwest and northwest. These stands will actually be perfect for hunting straight north or straight south as well. But the beautiful part of this is I want to be on the west side of this creek. I'm going to access from the east side of this creek because I know the deer are not bedding on the east side of this because it's wide open field. I mean, it's only about 10 to 12 yards of timber, and then it opens up to the wide open field. And I don't want to access coming in from the edge of the CRP on the west side here. And the other cool part about being on the west side of this creek is I'm actually going to be maybe 20 yards from the edge of the CRP. As you can see right there, that's the side-by-side. That is 20 yards right there to that side-by-side. So these trees on the west side, not only am I hunting this pinched down area on the edge of the CRP and the creek, but I'm actually hunting the creek crossing as well. Everything just marks a perfect X right here. So I want to make sure I've got a stand to hunt for as many wind directions as I possibly can on the edge of this creek. Absolutely perfect access and exit, which is the number one thing that I'm looking for first and foremost. The second thing that I'm looking for is the variables that are in my favor, and that is going to be a pinch down area here. Pinches are my favorite. I'm a majority of the time bow hunter, so I need everything to be within bow range. And just the lay of the land where the bedding is close, I've got water close, I've got food on both sides of me. One great big field over here to the east, and then on the west side of the CRP, it actually is another 80 or 90 acre wide open ag field too. But here's the second tree right here. It's a bigger tree. Actually, I think I found even a better one. Yes, I did. It's gonna take some massive clearing with the pole saw, but guys, look at this. This is just nuts. That is from deer. Straight up deer doing that. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 trails right here crossing this creek. 6 trails crossing this creek in a 30-yard span. Pinch down area right here from the creek to the edge of the CRP is 20 to 30 yards. To the actual CRP is probably 30 yards. So you can guarantee during the rut, those bucks are gonna be going up and down this like crazy. Not to mention crossing the creek, trying to get to the other side to scent check all that CRP over there. This spot is gonna be dynamite. I'm putting a lot of eggs in this basket. But I believe that is gonna be my tree that I'll be sitting on my southerly winds. Yeah, right? Yeah, southerly winds. I'll be sitting there on my southerly winds, and I'll be sitting over there on my northerly winds. Man, this is gonna be fun. All right, what's up, you guys? We are at a different farm today and hanging a tree stand. It's end of February, and there is a spot that I've wanted to stand all along. And basically there are 2 bucks that I watched all last season that are 4-year-olds. They're gonna be at least 5 this year that I'm gonna be targeting on this farm. And I wanna show you guys why I'm hanging a stand here. I'll be honest with you, the perfect tree did not exist on the X that I wanted, but I'm making a hickory work, and the deal is there's 2 of them, and I'm only 12 foot off the ground. Because you're gonna see here in a second, I'm sitting right here on the edge of a big bluff. This bluff is actually where these deer come up, but there's also a pond straight over here. That's a pond dam right there. And that pinches them down to this spot right through here. And the only wind you can hunt this spot on is an easterly wind, southeast or northeast. And primarily, that's when I got the most daylight pictures of those bucks on this pond dam, is when you had east winds, which makes perfect sense. They hug on the west side of this ridge, and they're just working it up and down, north and south. And basically they're smelling everything to the east of them, and they're visibly looking over this bluff, seeing everything that's over here to the west of them. So this is one of my favorite type of spots to sit. I wish there was a little better tree and just a little bit further that way, but we're going to have to make do with it. Primarily, I'm going to be trying to shoot them on this pond dam or this little gap leading to the pond dam. That is the goal, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff here, but you can see the time lapse here. I already hung this Novix, did it in less than 10 minutes, only 3 sticks, and I'm only maybe 12 feet off the ground. And again, the reason I'm doing that is so that they don't skyline me, especially when they're on that pond dam. So before ever hanging the tree stand, I went over there on the pond dam and actually looked back this way and seen what it looked like and make sure I didn't go too high. I didn't want to go too high to where I'm going to be silhouetted. You know, that's why I highly recommend everybody hanging their stands, or at least getting it up there to see what it looks like this time of year, because the majority of season you're going to have leaves off the trees, and the last thing I want is to come hang this, you know, in late summer and it's super green in here, and then the leaves come off and boom, I'm just sticking out like a sore thumb. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys this. We got a huge creek crossing down here, so you guys can see how this naturally comes up. And they got a trail here, they've got another trail that comes around right here, and there is just litter of deer tracks down there in the creek that come up here. That's because you can see these bluffs, they literally drop straight off everywhere else. It's straight up and down. So this is the easiest way for them to come up. Now, ideally, I'd like to be over that way a little bit further, but this is going to allow my wind to be traveling up and over. So you can see this pond dam here. This is primarily where I get the most deer pictures, especially those 2 particular bucks. And whether you can see it or not, the deer stand is right there. And I could shoot them right here on the pond dam. Easy 30-yard shot. But anyway, hopefully you guys are having it good, if you want to call it off season. I'm hanging tree stands, doing tree stand maintenance, cutting lanes, moving tree stands, adding new tree stands, looking at all the sign left behind from the previous season. You know, now is the time when you kill those bucks next season. Making those preparations is vital right now. So that's what we're doing. Got everything hung up there. We got like I said, 3 sets of sticks got me up there about 12 foot. Had a couple half rack gear hooks hung up there for my bow and one for the backpack. In some scenarios like this, I would actually prefer having something that's close to the tree, and that's where those gear hooks are really nice. So when I hang my bow, it's hanging flat to the tree. I don't need something sticking out and making more of a silhouette. So certain cases like this one, I like my bow to be tight to that tree, where I just reach around my left hand, grab the bow, and shoot. And you can see it's got a tree right in front of it there. And I'll use that one to actually put my camera arm on, which will be really nice, make my life a lot easier. At least that's the plan. So, got another stand done on this farm, but I'm real excited about those 2 bucks that I talked about earlier. Those 2 bucks, that one in particular should be a rock star of a buck. He was pretty big last year too. I can't show you guys a picture of him, but let's just say he should be a rock star. And then the other one is also a great buck. He was probably in the 150s last year as a 4-year-old and has the potential to be an absolute monster as well. So 2 really good bucks. I'm looking forward to chasing on this farm next year. And this is the one farm that I have not shot a buck on. I've shot and missed one and had some close calls on some other ones that were mature but just weren't the right buck. But I've never shot one and actually killed a buck on this farm. So I'm hopeful this year will be the year to get the job done.